First one is, if I have a global affiliate site that targets all English-speaking people around the world, as the offers could be delivered globally with the primary focus on the US and the UK, is it possible that if I create a US GMB, that would limit my traffic to the US and even to the US area of the GMB in a similar way that GeoTargeting and Search Console does? I mean, the GMB would only, again, I'm not sure I understand the question, in that if you have a GMB, you're limited for the GMB and to where it will rank in maps. Does that make sense? But having a GMB tied to a global domain isn't going to affect, at least as far as I know. I've never tested it, but as far as I know, it doesn't seem to me like it doesn't seem logical that it would limit the website's exposure by having it tied to a GMB in the US. The maps ranking itself for the GMB would be limited to its immediate area, which is normal for all GMBs now. But I can't imagine it causing any issues. Marco, have you tested any of that or have any experience with that?
Well, the Land Solutions Network has a corporate entity, right, in Pennsylvania. That's the way we decided to set that up, just to give it a corporate presence, get a GMB, to kind of show, you know, that it's a local company, but it's spread out. And but then that's also geo-targeting the U.S. So it's a service-based business targeting the U.S. It has a service area. As long as you don't, you know, like I don't know how you would do that if you have a global entity, and why you would pigeonhole it into a GMB,
yeah,
where you're required to either show your address or to set a service area, and you can't set the globe as a service area unless you deliver goods and services to the person, right, at their location. Is that, well, that's the idea behind a service-based business, right? And so I mean, you'd have to look at that. I don't know why you'd want to do that. Why don't you just, because you're not, here's the thing where people get confused. If you're doing local, it's natural and it looks really good, and you have to have a GMB, or else you're not going to rank in the 3-pack. And that's where the most action takes place in most niches locally. People go into their cell phones and they look up whatever service it is that they're looking for, and they get a map pack, or they get ads and a map pack, or something along those lines. If you don't want that to happen, and if your niche doesn't trigger a map pack, then why would you want to be involved in that in the first place? There's other ways to verify and validate that entity that doesn't involve a GMB. We just did it with Land Solutions Network because I knew we'd be targeting the US, and I knew how we would be targeting the other states and cities in the US, right? So I knew what was going to happen already, and how that was going to happen. But if I were going globally, I wouldn't have done that. I would have never set my geolocation to the US. I probably wouldn't have gotten a GMB. I would have looked for another way, running ads in Google and YouTube, getting that credit card on file, going into G Suite, right, as the company Land Solutions Network, doing all of the things that a company does when they want to work within Google, when they want to run ads, which would be worldwide, not just to one particular geolocation. Just makes no sense.
Yeah, so I agree that, you know, if you don't force a GMB just because you think you need it. You know, if there's a specific reason that you want to have a GMB, or that you need to have a GMB in the US, then so be it. But as Marco said, there's other ways to solidify or validate the entity more in Google's eyes. Like he mentioned, running Google ads, right? Having credit card on file, running some ads. You could run YouTube ads or display ads very inexpensively with even $1 a day budget, right? So even less. But it's just that Google can recognize you're a real person. It's not a spam account. You're paying money. Same thing with G Suite. G Suite's a great way to validate an entity, which at the basic level, it's $6 a month per user for the G Suite account. And then also you could upgrade like Google Drive for that account and do pay. So you get additional storage, right? That's another way to get it on file. So there's a number of different ways to validate it besides having the GMB, unless of course you need it.